So what are the items that actually matter in this game for true Zenoiran? And what items should you actually bother using and buying? So typically when you're using items in true Zenoiran, the best thing to do is to use items that have the biggest value, that do the most per item use. So for example, if I have to heal multiple things in my team, using a single healing tonic, if I do want to use an item, is generally a bad idea when healing font is relatively cheap, and especially in early game, basically does the same thing. And there are also other things too, like camping sets, which are actually kind of insane. Revives incapacitated ally units in range, granting them 30 HP and 2 stamina. So like the best way to think about items, because you have 5 item uses, is can I do this with Valor skills? So like, can I resurrect with like Soldier Valor skill or some other unit's Valor skill? And can I heal with like a Cleric Valor skill or some other Valor skill? That's the first thing you should think. And then the second thing should be, is this absolutely necessary and what do I need? So if you are about to kill a boss and you have just a little bit too little of damage, so you're just like barely shy of killing the boss, empowering draughts can typically push you into killing range. So if you have item uses left, if you want to kill the boss in one combat, this can be useful for doing that. Defensive draughts combined with empowering usually can allow something to tank. So if you were to die, and that would be the difference between killing a boss or not, these two when used with each other usually will allow you to kill a boss. And then things like camping set, these are massive value items that mass revive, heal, and restore stamina. These are the best things to use overall. So if you have to use a thing, and like let's say you have like 2 or 3 units who have like 1 or 2 dead allies, and everyone needs healed, or a lot of them need healed, and you need the stamina, camping set is absolutely the best thing. You shouldn't really rely on it though, because they're expensive and they're kind of scarce, but this is like the absolute biggest thing, like any of these camping things. From restoring a single point of stamina, let's say, you know, you just need 1 stamina to kill the boss, using a smoked nuts can solve it, you know, get you there. There's other things too, like hot cross buns, which give more stamina, and then the steak, which gives even more. So those are pretty good for spot healing stamina. Silver hourglass, this is something I would never really recommend using or buying. If you're relying on this, you're probably doing something wrong. Revival orbs are fine. I would say the main items are like healing fonts, revival orbs, things that restore stamina, camping sets, occasional use of empowering and defensive draughts. Wind Fairy Charm can be useful too. Like let's say you have a kill, but there's so many range assists or mage assists in the area, you just need something to deal with those. This can just completely negate them. Liquid Fortune you can use if you really want to, if you just have one, and if you just want to get a little bit of extra cash for killing a boss. But beyond that, I don't really recommend using these because you have 5 item uses. Light Feather, this is fantastic for finishing maps quickly. Like let's say there's some liberation quest where you just want to send a flyer and go kill the boss. This just doubles your movement speed and you can just go dive the boss now. Beckoning Bell, I don't recommend using this. Mantlet Kit, you could kind of do this if you want to have like a tanky position for 3 turns and also not consume stamina. Traps, I don't recommend traps. With 5 item uses, like a steel trap is not really going to do much. It can be kind of useful, but not really. Conveyance Stone definitely can be useful if you're about to lose, especially if you have at least like 2 or 3 item uses left. You usually want to keep at least like 3 item uses, so like the first and second item I usually don't mind if it's just like a spot heal, like a group heal or a res or something. But for the third and beyond item uses, I try to make them meaningful. Holy Herb, this is also something I don't recommend. Barricade Kit, I don't recommend. Magic Mine, no. Farsight Crystal is interesting. Hit plus 50 is huge. It can be the difference between hitting things or not, but typically the things that dodge you have evade mechanic, which it doesn't care about your accuracy, it just automatically evades. So this can be hit or miss, I kind of don't recommend it. Let's look at the other items we have. Just go over them. Oh wait, did I sell my items? I have like no items, that's weird. I think this run was so easy I never needed items. I think that's what it was. All right, so healing tonics, I just got these from quests. I might use one occasionally to like spike heal some single target, but usually I'm going to be using healing fonts. Healing font M is good throughout most of the game. Healing font L is good for, you know, a huge spike heal. Grilled steak is obviously fantastic. These are kind of hard to come by though. But restoring 5 stamina is pretty huge if you just have like 2 or 3 super units that are carrying. Hot cross buns are a little bit more common. I think I used them all in this playthrough. But light feather is pretty good. The light tail feather, this can be good too because it's an AoE version of this. But typically if you want to beat a map quickly, you can just light feather. Concealing cloak, it's kind of finicky. This is actually weird because from what I understand, the way this works is if the dude who is cloaked is like on one side of the map and you enter combat with anything, they become uncloaked. So like, even though it's not the dude who's cloaked entering combat, they become uncloaked because you entered any combat anyway, like anywhere. As far as I understand. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm fairly certain that's how it works. That appears to be how it worked in the past. But your main items, I would say healing fonts, spot res, stamina restoration, light feathers, and of course, fairy wind charms, and if you really want to, the giant canopies. So we can go find a giant canopy. Let's see. It might be hard to find them because everything will be buried, I think. It's showing me the... Oh wait, the armor. There we go. Hold on, that's why I'm in armor. Here we go. Yeah, so Wind Fairy Charm, definitely really good. The traps, you just can't really use them. Like, they don't do enough. Golden Hourglass, you can use in like a pinch. Camping Set M is insane. Even Camping Set S is insane. Any of the camping sets. And you, like, if you look at some of these towns, though, you can buy quite a lot of them. So if you do any kind of gold farming, camping sets can basically brute force the game. They're so powerful. If you were to buy a ton of them, you would easily brute force the game. Like, you could just have, as long as you have one dude alive and you're barely losing or winning combats and dealing damage to enemies, you can literally just keep camping setting to resetting your team. And you could kind of brute force some maps just by using them. They are expensive though, and they are finite, so make of that what you will. Let's find some giant canopies. They're probably more in Elven lands. They do sell them, some of these. Fairly certain. I think that's Bastorius. I'm surprised to see there's none in there. They're not too common. They negate stage damage. Or group, I believe. Maybe they can't buy them. I swear you can buy giant canopies. I've seen them in the store, unless I'm just imagining it. Oh, let's look at, oh, maybe you can't. Maybe they're drops only. And like, giving people, what is it? It's like doing like town rebuilding. Yeah, maybe you can't buy giant canopies. Huh. Alright, so then use them. Because I don't have any more, and I see that they're not selling them. So that's interesting. I don't see them anywhere. Huh. Alright, so I guess you can't really buy giant canopies. But giant canopies are really good against like ballistas and catapults. Catapults are easier to avoid. Ballistas, you're probably going to get hit once or twice while approaching them. And honestly, there's better things to do. Like, you could just slap a Legionnaire on a squad just to temporarily, like, deploy them, give a thing, the Great Fortress or whatever it's called, then undeploy them, send them on their merry way. But usually, like, you can actually beat True Zenoiran pretty easily without items. But those are the items I would recommend focusing on. And I also recommend not buying a ton of items, because that'll just waste a lot of your money. Do not buy bad weapons and do not buy bad items. You really only need to have like 4 to 10 healing fonts total, a few smoke nuts, a few hot cross buns, a few grilled steaks, maybe like 5 light feathers or more if you want those, and then like some res orbs. That's really all you need. The rest of it is like overkill or just completely unneeded. And then conveyance stones, just keep these like 1 or 2 just in case you need them to teleport to your base. You can always just have a base guard too though, and then you never have to worry about that, assuming that you make a good unit that does not die easily. But yeah, and then of course Luminous Cornash is used outside of battle in this difficulty, so you can't pop it to gain action points, or stamina rather. Or no, valor points, sorry. But yeah, that's it for this one. For the items, don't waste your money on bad items. Don't have too many items. One of the things I would do commonly in my first playthrough and second playthrough was I just kept buying, oh, I'll need all these healing items. I kept buying healing items. It just wasted my money. You really just need like 5 to 10 at any given time. And then if it starts to, you notice your supply gets low, just like refill it. But yeah, thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you next one. Peace.